China has remained relatively unaffected by the oil shock brought on by the war in the Middle East. Most people focus on the wide adoption of electric vehicles in the country and how burning less petrol in cars means less oil dependency. But that's just the most visible part of China's cushion against oil shortages. Long before the Iran conflict, Beijing realized it needed to diversify its energy structure. China has about 13% of the world's coal reserves, but only 1 to 2% of the world's crude oil. You can burn coal for heat and electricity, but you can't use to power an ordinary car. So leaning towards electricity and stepping away from oil became a reasonable choice. By the mid-2000s, diversification became the official energy policy baked into China's 5-year plan. Beijing began to aggressively fund alternative sources. It poured billions into hydropower, rapidly expanded nuclear capacity, and subsidized wind and solar power. In 2024, 86% of all new capacity added to China's power grid was from renewable sources, compared with just over 42% in 2020. But electrifying the roads and expanding renewable energy was only half the battle. China still needed to import oil to fuel its logistics and petrochemical industries, and its reliance on shipping lanes like the Strait of Hormuz and Strait of Malacca was a massive strategic vulnerability. So Beijing built multiple physical workarounds. Instead of just buying from different countries, they changed how the oil moves. Over the last 2 decades, China constructed thousands of kilometers of overland pipelines. Today, massive amounts of oil and gas flow directly from Russia, Central Asia, and Myanmar, allowing some of its oil imports to bypass global naval choke points. Then there's China's strategic petroleum reserve. There are no official figures on the size of the reserve, but experts estimate that it could last 4 to 7 months. Of course, a prolonged conflict in the Middle East is still going to put pressure on China's economy, especially its manufacturing sector. The plastics industry in China is already seeing raw material costs surge about 30%. But China's diverse energy structure shields it from an immediate and paralyzing national crisis. It forms a cushion that gives Beijing enough time to calculate its next move.